Then, let us abide. And she reaches her hands out, and you can feel like the mists beginning to swirl as the energies of the spirits begin to come to the aid of the townspeople. The ground begins to rumble. And you watch as this crack kind of tears open in the center here. Stones begin to jut outward, and you watch as a massive, what looks like a boulder just kind of juts out of the center of the floor. Parts of it crack and open. As an earth elemental emerges in the center of the room there.
I attack it.
He's on outside, right?
Go for it. She's going to step forward this way by the side of it. As it emerges, the mists swirl into it, and you watch as it's taking its form. The energies of the spirits and the powers given by the proximity of the Ley Nexus and the Apogee Solstice, its stones begin to extend into spikes. It grows an additional 5 or 6 feet. The magic is enhanced and fed by the ritual that she presents. And now this massive stone defender sits ready.
As my bonus action, I'm just gonna start moving Dynios in. So right. Dynios can move 30 feet. Dynios, come to me, Daddy.
Please don't ever call me that ever again.
We're just gonna call him Daddy from now on.
I hate it. It's disgusting.
Rubbing off on me.
Inappropriate. It just floats past the little crack between the two fighting entities at the doorway and enters the chamber. It's so pious in here.
Since he's leather bound, does that make him a leather daddy?
Yeah.
Stop it! I don't want it! I hate it! Does that finish your turn, Prism? Failed save. Failed save. This guy's no longer frightened of you, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
All the soldiers all of a sudden at once go like, ooh.
Ookie time!
I got out of that.
And there's this low grunt as they all begin to shit their armor.
Prolapse, you took too long!
It takes, is it heavy armor? It takes 10 minutes to doff that.
It does. It does.
God.
That's a little rough here.
No more hiding the sneak attack for them.
It takes like a minute to get that snowsuit off.
100%.
10
All right, so
apparently.
pulling all these forward.
10 minutes. Where's the squire when you need one?
All of hot and spicy.
All of the soldiers that are currently visible are considered poisoned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
You can say it, covered in
Terrible
shit.
diarrhea.
You can say it.
They are poisoned and covered. Well, not covered, filled.
Oh!
Filled. They are.
Vile Gogurt.
Yes.
I don't like it.
It's got a little bit of reverb on it.
Yeah, it's like dropping a handful of pennies in a bucket. It's just.
Oh my God.
Making sound effects into your coffee mug.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There you go.
Oh god. 20.
Oh,
2 in a row! Holy shit!
So stressful.
Yes, you're bringing it.
Hold it.
All right, so now, roll your d4,
There's-
and then go ahead and double that number and add your. So that's 4 damage plus
4 plus 3, 7.
7 points of
All
damage.
your eights went.
How do you want to do this?
I just want to hold up, I don't have a vial. I guess a palm. Hold up my palm so that the blood pours into my hand like this. And I want to just start vomiting.
Just try not to mix the vomit with the blood because spells are really particular.
So after
So I have-
stabbing the blade in the back of the neck, like a gout of blood pours out, and you kind of capture it. Kiro kind of tries to staunch the flow, but it's a rapid descent into darkness as she kind of stumbles forward a few feet.
Oh my god!
Mutters a
God.
prayer under her lips before collapsing onto the ground.
That's it, prayers.
What happens to her freaking sun creature?
Oh, where is your god now? I hear Orym say that and I go, fuck, I should have said that.
You know, you could have said Dawnfather, more like Gonfather.
That's pretty good.
You can have that one.
No, I'm just vomiting.
This is a lot of violence. Okay, does that finish your turn, Bordor? This is the action bonus
Yes,
and movement.
finished.
Yeah. At this point where Kiro has fallen, blood kind of pooled out in the middle of the temple, the soldiers are looking about nervously. The top of the temple begins to glow.
No fucking way.
A light begins to fill and permeate the interior of the area. and a voice seems to echo from above.
No fucking way.
Counterspell. Just kidding.
We don't want to hear it.
Leave or be judged. And in the center of the dome that hits the center of this temple, you watch as this singular light form descends. Wings emerge as feathers of gold drift off. And as the light begins to pull away, you see a beautiful celestial being descend. Long, kind of fiery long sword in one hand. Float down as you see an angelic entity of the Dawn Father descend
What?
from the middle of the chamber.
No.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It then
Wow.
swoops down right between the two of you, guards the blade in its hand, and then rapidly, let's see, yep, makes 2 attacks. Strikes twice, once at you, Ashton, and once at you, Prism.
+8 to your AC.
Prism.
I cling to Orym.
So against Ashton,
I'm brave.
that's going to be a 20 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and then against you, that's going to be a 22 to hit.
That hits. But it hasn't been my turn yet, right? So aren't I still resistant to all damage?
You are, technically.
Okay.
Okay.
Technically?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's kind
So,
of
so there we go. So both these strikes here with the long sword. Against you, you take 6 points of slashing damage.
Oh, I thought it was a Ashton.
Sorry, Ashton.
Prism?
Yeah.
6 points of slashing damage, reduced to 3.
All right.
And then 13 points of radiant damage.
Fuck right off.
And then against you, that is 8 points of slashing damage,
Reduced to 4.
reduced to 4. And 9 points of radiant damage, reduced to 4. So 8 points total.
All right, Prism.
Boy.
We got this.
And then as part of that, is going to use fiery castigation.
What the fuck?
After it strikes at both of you, it looks down at you and goes,
Yeah.
and the voice like echoes throughout the room. The actual like stained glass in the wall seems to reverberate at its voice as it fills the chamber. I need you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
You got this.
Are you within 4 feet of me? 10 feet of me?
I just rolled like ass.
You're within 10 feet.
It is it's not a spell, unfortunately.
Okay.
It is a magical ability.
I'm sorry, Orym.
Did you roll a d4 for me?
I did.
What is it?
2.
Oh, so I got a total of 11. I rolled
Oh.
a 4.
11.
Well, fuck.
Such high dex.
Fiery golden chains emerge out of the ground around Orym and wrap onto you and seem to pull you to the ground, burning your skin.
Oh.
You are restrained.
Cool.
No, again?
Cool.
Man.
You can't catch a break.
And you take
I don't know.
14 points of radiant damage.
Cool.
14 points of piercing damage?
14 piercing damage.
16 piercing damage. And he has to make a strength saving throw.
Well, how about the two of you tell me how you want to do this?
I think the Barl girl recognizes a fellow spirit of summonry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah, my dog is like,
Let's fucking do this.
so.
And then they just chest bumping back and forth.
Go jump away and it's like, it gets knighted the Roxbury to death? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wow.
The dog and the demon? That's amazing.
You're rocking a hard place
That's rad.
between a dog and a demon.
Yes. That's D&D.
Adjudicator, one of the most feared creations of the temples of Vasselheim crumbles beneath the bro chest-bumping power of two summoned entities here in the middle of the temple of the Dawn Father. Perfect.
Wow.
And then as he dies, my dog looks at the demon, holds out his paw and gives him a little fist bump. And then the demon would know But my dog is just like, I have renewed purpose today. And then he looks up and he just evaporates. Because that's it. When the person he's hunting dies, he goes away.
Okay, the Barlgura, I know I'm not technically allowed to say this, a single tear falls from the Barlgura as he pops pecs. And it just falls. And it splashes from one popping
the other,
peck to the other.
Just like ping
memory.
pongs it a little bit.
I'm gonna go.
Dagger.
I think I should go. Wait, are you supposed to move it or can I move it?
Oh, you can move it if you're close enough, yeah.
wings? Sorry.
I don't know if I should help Denise. Guys, I don't give a shit. I'm going right up to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab both sides of the angel's head because I've never felt one before.
Oh boy.
He was herding goats 48 hours ago. Now he's here.
How does it feel
Touching an actual angel.
And
Oh boy.
I'll do 5th level inflict wounds.
Well, go ahead and roll with advantage because it is prone.
Oh, what does this plus 8 mean?
That's your
That's
roll.
what you add to it.
Let's roll that twice. Take the higher of the two.
How,
twice.
where am I?
One more. One more.
Oh, I'm over.
Yeah.
18 plus 8, 24 that hits. Go ahead and roll your damage on that. So 5th level, so it's 3d10 at 1st level. That's 7d10 points of necrotic damage.
I
got
want
some
Bordor
D10s,
to get the hardy dirty.
Just
I got
this
some D10s.
beautiful savant goat herder.
Just
Is
like,
that what that is?
wow, an angel.
Just roll all these?
I think you
How
need
many are
more
there?
than that.
How many do you
1,
need?
2, 3, 4, 5,
level,
6.
that's
One
gonna
more.
be
One more here.
7 D10s, so you need.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
That's like a percentile. So if you had to roll 1 out of 100.
Okay, that's a 10.
10. That's a 10, right?
That's a 1.
That's a one.
Yeah, I told you. What's this one?
4. Okay,
12.
so you got
400.
okay.
Thank you for helping.
12.
19, 28 plus 8, 36.
36.
36 points of necrotic damage. How do you want to do
Hurt him to hell, Border!
it? 2 in 1 battle. The angel on the ground, you can see it's like glowing light. It's almost blinding in the proximity as its wings are flailing about. The demon's kind of like clutching on, holding to the ground as you step up to it and it looks up at you. Its eyes, these kind of like bright white stars. It has this like look of pity as it looks upon you.
I hold its head and I kiss its forehead and I say, enough.
As the energy leaves your hands, you watch as the light begins to diminish, blackness beginning to seep into the sides of its head. Its bright white eyes go jet black as it screams silently, staring at Bordor, until eventually its skin goes to a pale gray and begins to crack and crumble into ashen dust, leaving the armor tink-tink on the ground before it begins to immediately rust, the rest of its body just burning away into ash, the wings dissipating into space.
I did not expect that to happen.
If she knew this was to come and pass, she's kept it to herself.
Well, yes, she always kind of says one thing and does another. It's kind of why I have a complicated relationship with her.
Please come tuck me in.
And I'm like, just involved in like,
Burrito rolling her, like
making sure she doesn't disappear in the middle of the night.
Hey,
just
thank
like-
you.
Totally swaddled.
I'm so strong. It's quite impressive.
goes like straight into a deep snore.
Thank God.
Pulling a bunch of like ground minerals and taking bits of dried leaf and tossing them into the water. And you watch as she raises her hand and the water level kind of fills up from what was like kind of a low, kind of dredged, dried out basin is now filled to a crystal water. And she pulls a stool up and sits on the opposite side, her large half-giant form almost like cradling it from the sides as she looks up. And she glances and winks at a bauble, and you see this like small flower above kind of unfurls, and with it a glow that kind of lights from above the surrounding bits of the chamber as you encircle the exterior of this. What is it you wish to look for, if I might ask?
I think I'm lowest on the priority, so I can...
Yeah, you first.
I think that we... And then Orym pulls out a little box with a moon etched on it. We could start with this.
Ooh. What is that?
A gift from a friend. From the friends that were lost.
Very well.
Hands out to her.
She takes it and sets it upon the water where it just kind of gently floats. The wood that it's constructed from rather buoyant.
So interested.
She closes her eyes and breathes in deep, and you watch as she inhales. It's almost like that mist that you saw once surround the forest to form those strange images of natural creatures, the heavy moisture and the fog that crumpled the temple seems to almost apparate from around and fill her nostrils. And then you begin to see the low mist rise within the chamber. It's not frightening, it's almost welcoming. The temperature doesn't chill. It still feels warm, if a bit more sultry. She exhales and opens her eyes, and you see that kind of gray coloration with a tinge of blue within that mist curls out from her eyes. And as she does, she puts her hands out and turns her hands in a circular motion and begins to mutter under her breath. As she does, the water begins to naturally swirl like a slow-forming whirlpool on its own. The box that you gave her begins to turn faster and faster and faster. At a certain point, it looks like it's about to spill over the sides as the displacement of the whirlpool begins to glide up on the edges. You can hear the rushing of the water, and then at once she stops and holds her hands, and as it does, the whirlpool seems to freeze in place. And then slowly it fills up as the box sinks beneath the water, vanishing from sight. And now this glass-like mirror surface that comes to the very, very top of this basin shows snow. Snow falling across a mountain range. You glance across and you can see as the snow comes through, you see a small gnomish woman. Beautiful brown skin, hair dark pulled up into almost like a bun-like thing, a knitted shawl across her shoulders, and a cloak holding what looks to be a long stick of some kind, wearing a very prominent symbol of the Dawn Father on her shoulder. Walking up the side of this as she glances behind, and you see another figure in like a greenish long cloak, skin metallic, like a rose gold brass coloration. Reminds you of FCG, but bipedal, tall, thin, holding their cloak together as they continue looking around. Behind them, you see the familiar image of a small, crotchety-looking gnomish man. You see Chetney tracking behind also, glancing about with a bit of an excited energy, but also a bit odd in his distance from these unfamiliar figures that walk with them. Behind, quickly there, you see Imogen kind of looking towards Fern as they both follow behind. You can see the gathering of these compatriots as FCG wheels up alongside Imogen and Fern, and they all continue trekking through the snow as the perspective seems to shift behind, guiding the point of image as the elder kind of changes her arms around the basin, and we see them climbing through this mountain range towards what looks to be a series of towers, and almost like the exterior of a mountain city, about a mile or two off.
You're recognizable?
Where are they? What?
Can I do a history check?
Indeed you can, if you would like to. Anybody who is, I'll say that's a decent history.
As a dwarf, as a mountain dwarf, would I know about mountains?
I'll do a history.
I look at it, and it almost
what
looks...
would I add to that?
Add your
Enter history. Be 0 on that.
I got a 26.
Oh, that's good.
I got a 25.
I'll do it better.
Okay.
Better than anything.
You did it better.
I got an 8.
I
Perfect.
have spent many
Right where
nights
I'm
in the
supposed
map
to be.
room. I think I know this.
With some of the perspective and the weather and the location, it's kind of hard to pick out, but what you both pick out is in the middle of this snow-covered mountain range, in which there are many, many throughout Exandria. There is also a column of black and gray smoke that rises from one dark mountain that absconds from the snowfall in this region, which you recognize as Kravarad. This is the one volcano that sits within the center of the Flatket Alps, and it's in this moment that you know that they are not far from the city of Uthadern. They are on the north side of Wildmount.
What did you say that big tall black smoke thing was? Krakogo?
Kravarad.
Krabarad. Gotta go to the Krabarad.
I think, Denise, you go, and then I'm gonna strong arm Bordor into checking on his brother.
You're right. I agree with that.
You guys don't want to see where Ludinus is?
That's
Yes,
what I'm saying.
I'm
we might as well
learning-
see where this
I'm
person
learning where
you're
the
chasing.
spell. I'm learning the spell. So
You are?
Yes.
I
I'm
know
currently
where
copying it.
Ludinus
My
is.
quill moves without me.
Okay. She gives you
Check on your
little
loved
pieces
ones.
of hair.
That's what this is about.
Hoping she'll get them back.
You helped us, we'll help you.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
She settles in and once more conducts the ritual, a mirror of what you just watched, to create its own mirror once more. As the hair is placed within the waters and it swirls, then swallowed to the depths of the swirl before she pulls forth the surface once more. And there you see, kind of frazzled, kind of chewing on his nails, a young dwarven man with a bit of a flap of brown-red, kind of auburn hair, chin beard that's been unkept and a little heavily grown. You see a dirty, scarred face, sweat on his brow, and a look of concern in his eyes as he kind of sits huddled in a dark space you can't quite make out. He sits and kind of plays absent-mindedly with the compass that hangs around his neck. And just kind of thinks for a second, licks his lips. First time you've seen his face in a little bit, and you almost don't register the tension because you're just so excited to see it.
So excited. But also, she just wants to fucking punch him.
Oh,
She's
so
got like a
so many
little
feelings.
teeny tiny tear just comes down her cheek.
Oh.
You kind of sits there for a second, looking off in the distance, and you watch as his tension kind of freezes, and he just kind of gets lost in a thought, or a moment, or a memory, or a worry. You're uncertain, but it's like watching a dog suddenly stare at a plate of cupcakes it can't eat. Just kind of sitting there before a hand catches his shoulder, a blue hand, and he kind of glances up, gives a nod, grabs a spear and stands up, and you see on the periphery of the vision a man standing familiar to the three of you. Blue of skin, long dark hair that fades to a white. Indeed, next to this dwarven man is your friend, Dorian. Also looking a bit worse for wear.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
The fuck are you?
That's the bag of dicks!
That's our bag of dicks.
The dwarf?
No, the other one.
Oh,
That's
I
our
don't know
bag.
him.
He's our bag of dicks.
Well, there you go.
The vision fades.
I mean, I guess all of this will work. Fuck it.
Your clothing is from your home,
Don't
right?
take it off.
Slowly.
I'll give you my dagger.
You don't speak for the group.
No, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Have you seen his art? He's hot.
Yes.
He's unassuming and hot.
Just let it happen.
Takes and places the dagger within the basin. The water begins to gather. This is from your home? As it swirls and the blade begins to sink within the water and descend, the glass surface fills up to the top. And there you see a vision of a homestead. modest, but well-furnished. Not quite the home of I'd say a farmer or a person who keeps cattle or sheep. It's an unfamiliar space to you. You're not certain if this dagger is calling a connection to a place of import or particular answer to your question, unfortunately.
Is that your house?
My apologies. And the dagger swirls back up and she pulls it and hands it back to you.
Can I give you something else?
I've concluded my capabilities for the day, but allow me to copy this over for you, and you will then be able to do this on your own as you travel.
Yeah, you guys can
Very
spam
valid.
scries on me.
Going on my newsletter.
She goes ahead and gathers some materials and begins to copy over the incantation for the scry spell in a way that she thinks will be best transferred from the nature-based magic she practiced and can be understood and conveyed into more expanded academy-based arcana.
Cool.
But you gather your supplies and prepare yourselves for the coming journey. Is there anything else you wish to do or discuss before you head out from the cottage?
I guess the question would be, I know everyone's dealing with like some pretty heavy revelations, but especially Porter, who basically got a ring cam to someone else's home. Anxiety is just excitement without the breath, so if you just give it some breath, you know, maybe it'll...
No, we should write that down.
It's honestly very well spoken.
I think I read it somewhere
Did you?
already.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't believe in myself until that moment.
That was so much I didn't actually hear it.
didn't believe in yourself?
Anxiety is just breath before fear.
No. No.
That also
No one
feels
crochet that. No one
accurate.
crochet that. That's
I feel
not
like
correct.
Both apply.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm game.
Yeah, I'm just
You know,
saying.
I think in a way, so, you know, Prism, stop me if I'm wrong, you learned your magic.
Yes,
over time.
Painstakingly, yeah.
You studied. I was kind of like you. I was just sort of born with it and kind of just had to discover it over time. And you're right, it's often just feelings and intuition and trying to go with your gut instinct.
Cool.
I point to a tree and I yell, "Silvery barbs!"
Did anything happen?
Do you have silvery barbs on your spell sheet? Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. It is a pregnant pause, silence, a bird shits off a branch.
Caught a cold.
Maybe it's been in you this whole time.
Could be.
That one time it works, though.
Yeah, I have faith. That silvery barb seems really exciting. And we really want to learn that one.
You know, just...
Yeah, what's his name? Pate should.
I can start looking for wood and.
Oh, yeah. I'll have Pate help me do a scout.
Yeah, I'll send Mother. Mother, go spend some time with Pate.
Get the flying creatures on it.
Oh, all right, I'll go ahead and do it. Come with me, Missy. I'll treat you right.
The bird just goes,
Yeah, it's about what I expected.
She's warming up to you.
Is she really?
I feel like it. I feel like that's the first time she's acknowledged your existence. So
That's true.
Progress.
That's points.
Yep.
I need the spin-off with Dynios and Mother and Pate.
I will summon Dynios too and say, Dynios, can you follow the familiars?
Are you
Three's coming.
absolutely serious right now?
Dynios, you can travel farther than they can. Okay, I can see through your eyes from 300 feet, and I can only do it from like 150 feet.
I mean, you're not wrong. They look incapable of really helping whatsoever.
Also, Dynios, you just seem like a man of such class and style. I feel like you would absolutely have the beat on the best place.
You don't have to brown nose me. I know how good I am at things.
Okay.
Very well. book kind of glides off and wait up! Don't go too far!
Emily, stop making one shots. Just don't.
I can't wait.
It's just me at the table at this point. I hate this idea.
Full time carrying yourself. Playing all the characters.
All right. The features of this, it is humanoid and not larger or smaller than a standard human, though the features of it do seem more live. The skull is more, I want to say like pointed towards the back, but the skull pulls back and is thinner in places. It looks delicate, but not elven, though it seems similar. You cast Identify on it, and indeed this skeleton belonged to a Githzerai, which you know to be one of the people that call the Astral Sea outside of Exandria home.
Aniti?
I think this is an extraterrestrial corpse.
What?
A what?
From the sky.
Like a bird.
No. Further than the birds. Like from
Like the
outer
angel.
space.
Like a moon.
Oh! No, not even like an angel. Like it's not an immortal being. It's just people who live in
An
outer
alien.
space.
So you think
Like an alien.
that he like crash landed here?
Or perhaps the fact that the body was fused with the stone would almost feel perhaps prison-like? Or...
Prison meteor? Right, because there's a hole, so that like something must have, and then maybe killed it on impact.
As you focus your first time letting this incantation find you, you close your eyes and you hold the mirror as a focus. The mirror begins to shift. The imagery on its surface begins to ripple, almost like the surface of water, and you instinctually close your eyes. Unlike the basin in the middle of this cottage where you saw it done once, you are part of the focus, Prism, and you feel your consciousness suddenly rocket out of your current self. You are thrust into the clouds of some unknown space, and you are plucked into a heavily wooded area, a cabin, an empty cabin. Furniture, kind of not heavily furnished, dark, shaded, empty.
Can I see what she sees? Can I see?
You can glance into the mirror where she's holding it, and you can see the same imagery.
Where is he?
Is this your house?
Well, that's where he stays. Yes. Where is he?
I don't know. Is there any evidence of dishes in the sink or...
Make a perception check for me.
17 on the die.
17 on the die. Best you can see in the nearby surroundings is there's some leatherworking tools on the wall. You can see there's a couple of tanned hides that kind of are kind of draped over a nearby stool.
I would like to also use this perception check based off of what Denise just said to see, do I see any signs of a sick person being there?
Not a sick person. You see furniture. It looks like a singular kind of wooden, almost like log cabin interior. There is a bed, a simple bed, but no one seems to be occupying it.
Okay, so what is this? He's not here? Is that a good sign?
I hope so. No, there's no way that can be a good sign.
Well, he's not dead.
But he's not there. What if he was taken away? Or what if he got freaking
Shunted.
right? Well,
Is there like evidence that anyone, like more than one person lives there? Or like, I don't know. And I'm going down a rabbit hole.
But this is definitely like a house you recognize this time?
yes, that's where he stays. Yes.
That's where he stays. Where he lives?
I was just there.
He just stays there. Okay. Okay.
Maybe
Well-
the sling's more tied to your house?
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm sorry I couldn't get you better information.
I think we've all learned to never go anywhere without a couple sentimental objects on our person. No matter what we're doing.
I'm sort of curious to know, like maybe we can get an update on their friends or Ludinus. Maybe kind of see what's up. I don't know. I'm curious.
If I take an arcane rest, I can get another 5th level spell and
Got
do it
it.
again.
Okay.
And
Maybe
like I
tomorrow.
said, I do have the likeness of Ludinus. We could try to scry on him.
Let's try it tonight, just in case something happens
Yes,
on
agreed.
the road to
Thank you for trying.
Vestro.
I'm sorry I couldn't get you more.
I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear any of us anymore. I hope you can. I've heard too many stories firsthand and read too many tales to discount the good that you, many of you, have done in this world. I don't know if you have anything left in you, but I'm praying. We could really use a little help down here. I know you can too, and we'll do our best. But any miracle you can spare. I just leave it planted in the ground and go back to sleep next to it.
I'd say the two of you keeping watch probably clock that quiet moment off to the side. But the evening goes by from that point without issue.
Because I'm like holding it to the ground, like the thing's here. So it's like the spell's going like.
The idea of you smothering a spell is really.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just a little queef. Just.
Matthew, it's so quiet.
Oh, wait, it is. It's you said cold. It's a Shiver and Queef.
It is a Shiver and Queef.
There it is. Yeah, it's a
long story.
it's not one of my finest moments forever emblazoned on the internet. It was quiver and shift was what I was trying to say.
Quiver and shift, and it came out Shiver and Queef.
That's okay. Nevertheless, as
for
you
a long time.
It's still an eloquent mistake.
Yeah.
thank you.
There's always poetry.
You tried to write one poem and you said another.
I did. Poem to limerick. It's a fine line. As you concentrate and force the cantrip into the cluster of imperfect crystal, it children.
I'm fine.
Please. Help.
What? I just. I'm in a movie a little sorry, but I am sorry.
It's okay.
Doing it in the name of knowledge.
You push your ray of frost into the crystal, and where it what?
Sorry.
I
Okay, I'm
just.
back.
Boy,
Here we are.
boy.
Can you roll initiative? I will teach you
We've lost Leo.
to mock me. No.
We've lost.
The apex of this climbing mass of stone steps rises up to what you can see is a glowing green obelisk, a 12-foot or so monolithic crystal that comes to a pointed apex. It is giving off a dull green glow that just kind of fills the chamber. And it looks like it's shaded or obscured towards its center. It looks smooth, like it's been either carved or set, or it has formed in a way that gives it a refined or cut aesthetic. There are markings on the walls that resemble glyphs. Ritual markings, recently set. Drawings and inscriptions across the stone where the crystal isn't occupying. You can see along the center of some of that rising platform, there are all manner of drawings that you recognize as reminiscent of ritualistic markers. Grooves and shapes and glyphs that are used to channel and power magical energies. This chamber indeed is a shrine, as well as something that has been prepared for some sort of an event, prepared for some sort of magical moment.
You said the obelisk was faded or obscured somehow in the middle? How
It is glowing, but the deeper you look in towards it, it's just kind of dark, almost like the middle of it, almost like the exterior of it is giving out light, but there's kind of a shadow towards core.
I wonder if this is gonna be... I mean, I might as well try and cast Identify on this obelisk.
Yeah.
I don't know that it will net anything.
Any of this primordial, or it's all glyph?
You don't see any language. These are just runes and glyphs and bits of magical inscription.
I'm just feeling like a mirror between this crystal that disperses magic and then the idea of dispersing the concentrated magic of the gods.
This is giving me yeah, there's something about... Does this have a residuum vibe?
Make an Arcana check.
Because I've seen residuum.
You have. It gives you a similar vibe, yeah.
18.
Here's a fun Arcana check. Here we go. I never even look at this one. 15.
15. It does look very much like residuum.
What is residual?
Oh, yeah.
What does that do?
It's a
Like a power.
it's a magic amplifier.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like
It can I remember
Was there a
this? Can I
caveat
remember
to that
this?
though? It
The
looks like
asshole
residuum,
said
but-
Well, residuum is processed.
yeah.
This looks natural.
Would that be something Denise would have like traded or stolen like
Oh yeah.
in her day?
Oh yeah. Well, you may have heard of it. If it came across, it was very small amounts.
Okay.
This
This is like enormous, an
Pricey on the
enormous
black
amount.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the asshole in the castle said it can like be used instead of material components. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this can't just be for powering a teleportation. This seems to be that we've stumbled on something else.
I'm just assuming if this is what they refer to as the Emerald Tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any other entrances, exits here? Or is there anyone else present?
Make a perception check.
Does this feel like a tune?
24.
24. You glance around the walls of the chamber and you see the same, kind of ritual markings, and you can see like candles that have been set up that have since kind of expired the flames, or they've melted entirely, leaving like wax drippings down the sides of the walls. You can see bits of herbs and natural offerings that have been arranged and set in specific patterns as part of this setup. You don't see anybody necessarily in the chamber. You kind of not approaching, closely, but looking up at the crystal, that kind of shadowed space in the crystal, almost looks like an empty space where a body would be, or the outline of a person.
Or maybe that's our guy.
And
Maybe
you
that's
glance
our.
up in the ceiling where you can see the crystals all rising, and amongst the cluster of crystals, you swear you see a face.
What?
And right as you meet its eyes, it smiles.
Fuck me.
And that's where we're gonna end the episode.
No!
20, it can only get there.
Yeah.
As it's trying to move away, you watch the shadows almost being pulled towards
Sick.
Ashton. It's like,
And it also has disadvantage targeting anybody but me now, but he already has disadvantage target anyone because he's got.
he just has disadvantage.
I think he's just fucked now.
Yay!
The gravity pull is just happening at this point.
All right.
Fucker.
As it pulls away, the jaw of the exposed face opens up as it turns slightly askew to the side, and as it does, this pure green, noxious fume.
Oh, is this gonna be
I hate all of this.
Cloud kill.
cloud kill?
Wait, is this
counterspell.
Yes!
Fifth level counterspell.
I'm doing it. I saved it for this.
And as it pulls outward, suddenly you watch as the heavy fume just seems to dissipate into a fine mist and just kind of join the moisture in the air around. As that happens, the head turns towards the spell book where the
That was actually from me.
that was from you over there. Then it turns over in the direction of where the incantation came from. It seems to acknowledge the direction, though it doesn't. You're uncertain if it sees you or not.
Right. But I'm standing behind Prism.
Yeah, so it's looking right at you.
How cute!
Fuck! You had bad breath and I gave you a mint. What's the problem?
You know what? He's going to instead over in this space and is going to release this like small, actually it's not pretty small, it's a pretty thick black shadowed hand that puts an arm out there and this little bead of light fires outward.
Counterspell.
Counterspell? Yeah. All right. It's going to use its reaction to counterspell your counterspell.
Pinball wizard.
As the beam of light shoots outward and
I don't want no fireballs up in this bitch. Like it was. I can't afford no fireballs.
apparently he can't either because it got counterspelled.
The range is too damn high.
Fuck yes.
Did it look like a fireball?
They're not.
I'm assuming it
Yeah,
seems
okay.
something.
You've seen fireballs
like it.
before. It feels like it may have been something adjacent to a fireball.
Okay.
I'll eat all of you!
And as
never
it
heard
stands there angrily, the mask pulls inside the shadow. The face kind of pulls inside. The shards of the red orb shake and pull inside of it for its bonus action. And that's going to finish its turn.
Oh. 12 plus another 4, 16 damage on the second.
16 damage in a second. How do you want to do this?
Game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game. Yeah. Yeah. I get with my form of dread, I as Laudna is one to do, kind of starts mirroring him a little bit. So her face like droops a little bit like his mask and she gets shadowy as it starts to billow and she just like machine guns these eldritch blasts into them. I don't know, you take it from there and make it cooler.
The face you see expanding almost to where the entirety of his shadow is becoming a massive head for the face pulled out in a terrifying scream. As the last two hit it, you watch as they sink into it and the black blob seems to lurch forward like it's trying to crawl over the side, trying to escape, like a wounded creature that begins to skitter. As it begins to move, you watch as it leaves a trail of black liquid behind and it just grows smaller and smaller in form as it slithers across the ground, making a horrible gasping sound. As it shrinks, leaving more and more threads of itself behind, they all kind of evaporate into a black mist until it's just a small looking, feeble, blackened creature. And then it kind of looks over in the direction of you, the face now small and crushed. Just a black gloop with like arms and pseudopods that are pulling out.
I extend my hand, my goopy hand, and I just suck it in and just squish it.
You squish it, and they all kind of like. Everyone's paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Wrapped.
Okay. So I stood up and I turn around. Oh, I need my. Oh, where's my. Okay, here we go. I'll tell you my story.
Uh-oh.
Is that like a little book or what do you
Yeah.
Pulls out a little pocketbook.
I'll pull out my.
It's a Lisa Frank
I
diary.
forget. Sometimes I forget my story, and so I wrote it down.
Why we have these, yeah.
I can't tell if you're acting like Bordor or if you're.
Okay, listen.
Been the problem this entire
Here's
time.
the truth. I grew up on Menagerie. It's on the coast, not far from Damali. My mother, her name was Lalandra, and she was blessed by the Wildmother. And she taught me her ways in secret. And we lived away from the city, and under the guise of humble leather workers, we stayed away from their watchful eyes.
Who's they?
The people of the city and the church.
So,
My father wasn't touched by the gods. Now, my mother taught me, and I was inexperienced, and one day I had to go into town to get some tools, and a group of rich kids started a fight with me, and I couldn't control my powers, and I inflicted wounds on them. And I almost killed one of them. It was an accident. And my mother knew that they wouldn't let me live, so she took responsibility for it. And she took the fall.
Where is she now?
Well, she believed in the gods. And she said to me that as long as we had faith in them, we would be taken care of. And she graciously accepted her fate, whatever that may be. Now, my father and my brother were not okay with that. And they fought for her freedom against an entire army. They never stood a chance. And I watched my mother's eyes as her faith in that moment was shattered. And the gods that she had trusted, that we had trusted, had let her down. She handed me her dagger, and she told me to run. And the last thing I saw over my shoulder was her setting off a vitriolic sphere on herself and all of the guards as they swarmed her. And I ran.
How long ago?
It's been years. I fled to the Sirius Mountains. I used my magic to scrounge up coin where I could. I stole. I tricked. And I developed a reputation. Small at first. But soon I caught the attention of people around me. People who were connected, who were powerful. And I found a community. And I was asked a very simple question, which you all have been asking this entire time. Do I believe in the gods and that what they do is good? And I did not.
What community was this?
That little piece of crystal, I left it on the ground when I stood up. I want to fire a vitriolic sphere at it right now.
As he answers that question,
Can we back up?
Not that fast.
not that fast, you watch as Bordor.
Oh, first before I do this, where there once was a golden, impish, sweet little boy, I'm gonna drop that shit.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Still same guy, same guy, but the gold, there's flakes, there's cracks, there's gray underneath, and it's weathered. The eyes that were full of innocence are full of a sadness and a pain that you can only have. Orym recognizes it. as a pain you can only have after having suffered great loss. And he's finally stands up to his full 6'4.5" height.
On Tinder.
He looks all, he basically looks fucked up. He doesn't look like if you saw this guy. Okay, so and before I do it, I also say, no. I'll say it after.
Okay.
And I'll do it.
As you all begin to go for whatever reaction you have, this small orb of green, condensed, vibrating magical energy fires towards the center crystal.
I did cure all your wounds before I did this, though. Let the record state.
And splashes out a massive blast of arcane acidic liquid that splatters towards all of you. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Is this poison by any chance?
This is acid. And I need you, Bordor, to roll 10d4 for me.
Dexterity?
Yeah.
Take that,
Can I
weak
do
kids.
Wait, what? Does that count? Does that count? Does that
This bitch.
count? 13.
Whatever you do won't hurt as much as finding out that we don't have new to battle chemistry that I thought we had.
We never. That chemistry still exists.
The real damage.
What's the total?
27.
Okay, so coming around the table here.
16.
What's your spell DC?
Which one is it?
You want me to help you as you assassinate me? Now?
It is, it's 16, so you succeed.
I succeed. So what, that's half?
So it's 26, you take 13 points of acid damage, Laudna.
Alright.
I fail.
So you take the full, was it 27 you said?
Yeah, 27.
27 points of acid
I
damage.
look you in the eyes, and then you see the life leave my eyes. And I pass out.
Oh, no!
Prism falls unconscious, the acid still burning into her flesh.
17.
17, so you take 13 points of acid damage. 13 points of acid damage.
21.
13 points of
Okay,
acid
and
damage.
I yell, I saw you. You killed my friends at Marquette. You were there.
I'm jumping full speed.
I need
at
everyone
this
to roll
one while
initiative now.
What? Were you? Oh my god!
I didn't want this to happen.
You're just so fucking.
I rolled pretty high. And then I will slide her further back, bait and switch, hold my shield up over her, and you will get an additional 8 points to your AC until the start of my next round.
So you've healed 15 and you have 8 added to your AC for this next round.
What happened? I had this weird dream where Bordor read.
There was no dream
from a notes app and then cast them out.
There's a lot to remember. There's a lot of details.
You know what was disturbing about it though? You were like, I need this because I can't remember it, but you didn't look at it once. That shit was in your soul.
It started there. Like once the proper nouns were gone, that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's 100%.
Like, Menagerie Coast. Yeah.
Your whole chest.
Like, what is
It was fucking good.
Okay.
That was fucking good.
Good. That was my final monologue before death.
Well, we'll see.
Laudna is like barely present right now. And the only thing that is like flashing through her head is Bordor's words of knowing true pain. That look of someone who knows true pain. And as if her life was flashing like before her eyes, but it's just all of the trauma that she's experiencing between losing Imogen and the solstice and losing her friends and watching so many people die and then being hung on the tree. Death upon death upon death. And feeling so helpless and so out of control here recently. And in this moment, she has control. She has regained a sense of control. And nothing is going to stand in her way. hate this. Marisha hates this.
I didn't even think I was gonna hit. I have a +2 to hit.
I'm
Definitely shorten this. Well done.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're okay.
That was a good.
Wither and Bloom. I'm just gonna use just the last bit of necrotic
Oh boy.
energy that I have to just continue to suck the life force. Said it's barely even Laudna there anymore. It is whatever part of her that she was hoping was dormant this whole time. But the world has just broken her here recently.
Well, Laudna, how do you want to do this?
I wish there was a trap door that I could slide under.
But Matt has.
Oh my god, I hate
deserve
this.
it. No. I brought it on myself.
But I love you.
It was very fun.
Just the darkness and her. For I don't know, she just gives in to the darkness. She can't control it anymore.
A familiar purple flame burns down her arm. Not seen really this hue since that brief journey through the shadow to try and retrieve her soul from the woman who once kept it at bay. That flame curls, and as from the ground, the curled roots and dried brush that has been gathered to fill the floor of this cavern begins to sprout vibrant green, and flowers of white petals and blue roses. A beautiful circle of life surrounds the two of them as Bordor's skin pales and cracks. His body limps and thins. And in that moment, the apex of natural beauty rising with life, along with the balance of death, you watch the troubled life of Bordor Dogson reduced to ash and memory.
A little ways from where Bordor died, on the ground, you can see a sketch photo of a mother, a father, and two boys, one of whom is younger and who's clearly Bordor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like Denise sees it. Oh shit. Digs a little hole next to the hole. Folds it, puts it in there. And I think she puts a dagger in too because it was his mom's.
Okay.
Where do you think?
White stone.
White stone?
And what was the other one?
Western.
West Run.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of W's.
Yeah.
Look, I'm unfortunately tethered to you for some time to come. I do not think I'm allowed to make these decisions.
Okay. Then let's go to Marquette.
Very well.
That's kind of like the heart of where all this is happening, right?
From what we've had, yes?
More or less.
I'm feeling drawn to danger. Let's do that.
Very well. As Hevestra goes, then that would be the rest of you to Drusar, you said.
Yeah.
Closes his eyes, lifts the staff, and the remaining kind of glowing sigils on the staff deplete opens his eyes, the flash of green energy in them, and he extends his hand. The tree once more tears open, and that entryway appears. You can see that same hallway of striated, darkened wood, the green glow kind of permeating throughout. And on the opposite side, as the door opens, you see what looks like a garden that sits on the precipice of a stone outcropping with a beautifully carved wall on the exterior. It is high in the air. Prism, it is a quarter mile, it seems almost, high in the air with a view of the jungle far below. You're uncertain quite how tall, but it is dizzying for a moment as you see birds flying in the sky above. It's elevated in ways you weren't expecting, and from this garden, it kind of travels off into a main road that leads into a vibrant city alongside a mountain spire.
I think I'm gonna take a page from the Orym playbook, and I'm gonna enlarge Mother and try and hang glide in.
She just coasts into it.
Someone arrest that bitch!
Hevestro stands there, sweating a bit. I can only hold this for a moment. Please do hurry.
Go, 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 go.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought this was mine. I thought this was mine.
All of us.
Yep.
So, all four of you rush through, and it closes behind. There at the exterior of this tree, Hevestro nods, takes a deep breath, holds a hand up as some leaves tumble forth and land in his fingers, rubs it in his fingers. Everything's changing. He turns and walks away. There's the memory of Bordor. Are there any final words you'd like to leave on the wind here in Isura?
I think I'm at peace. I'm with my family again.
With that memory left, both echoing in the memories of those you traveled with the one you saved, you're put to your rest here in the mountain, away from the gods, under the watch of the guardian spirits that first crafted this world. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end the episode. My goodness.
Got dark.
Yeah, it did.
Motherfucker.
God damn it.
We were gonna go through.
I'm sorry.
Wait, you were gonna kill us on the way through?
Yes! I'm not killing you. There's no way I could have killed you.
I didn't
But you know, dramatic.
Fireball at us.
No, what do you call it? Vitriolic sphere.
Yeah, that showed up hurt.
That's a rough one.
That would have hurt. That was fun though.
That was awesome.
That was
Utkarsh, well fucking done, man.
I thought about begging for my life, and then I was like, just let it go.
No, so well played. All three were fucking great guys.
Seriously.
Fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, friends.
Scarred for life. I have one lingering question. When Prism paraglided to the door, did she keep going off the balcony, over the edge, and like total link, just glide down half a mile?
I thought we were going to two different places, so I thought I was just going to paraglide and then it would close up behind me.
You definitely did end up going in two different places.
So, yeah.
For fucking sure.
We start the next episode with like, and Prism falls to her death.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We'll see how we start the next episode. Because they are coming in quickly behind you. I mean, you do have a bit of runway before you go off the edge. So, I guess think about what you're gonna do when we jump in next time.
You know, you just do that thing where you drop for 500 feet, then put it up, and then drop.